Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another episode of the free-to-play Pelicans. Alright, so we are going to go over my free-to-play squad on the Xbox Series X and talk about, team updates and some cards that I'm looking at now and how the fantasy event really changed the landscape of free-to-play players, as well as this new event, because the new Christmas event or Winter National event that came out, I think that plays to free-to-play players more than the higher-end guys, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. Alright, so let's take a look at the Squadron. We've got the 85 Steven Stamkos with the Howitzer Synergy, still one of the best right-handed cards in the game. 90 speed and 90 shot power, just a very, very good card, and one that all free-to-play teams immediately should go out and get. He's very, very cheap now. Next, we've got Mario Lemieux. I think this is the card that everyone should chase right off the start. I think that it's, just the best in terms of what you're going to get. So, like, synergies, the fact he can play center, the fact he's big, his shot, speed, all fantastic. This is the card to go out and grab. After that, we've got the 87 Connor McDavid, still one of the best left-handed winger cards, again, just based on pure speed and wrist shot ability. Second line, we've got Eric Daze. I've talked about Eric Daze a ton in Who Should You Choose. Still, a very, very good card. Again, the size combined with the fact he's got speedster, a good shot, very good card. Eric Lindros, solid center. Again, everything that you need. Good face-off rating, a good shot, as well as great size. Everything you need in a center. The Phil Kessel, he's slowly falling down my lineup, but when you combine the fact he's got speedster with his shot, again, prototype winger in NHL 21. Then we've got the fantasy Brock Besser, who is slowly becoming one of my favorite cards, with Sidney Crosby and Taylor Hall. You guys are going to notice a theme here. They're either really fast and have a decent shot, or they have a synergy that makes them fast, which is what you should look for. Evgeny Malkin on the fourth line I don't really want, but he is untradeable, as well as Claude Giroux and Tyler Seguin. So, again, guys, these are the cards that you want to go after early on. This team didn't cost me all that much. Defense gets a little bit more difficult. So I went out and got the Erik Karlsson, just the base one. Again, he's the best among the base cards, in my opinion, for right-handed defensemen. OEL is a 100% buy, just because of his speed and shot, combined with the fact he's got Howitzer. Then we've got Morgan Riley again, and Adam Fox. Again, speedster guys. You want to make sure that they're as fast as possible to keep up with these guys that have amazing teams. And then Dougie Hamilton and Hedman again. Either they have Howitzer, they have speedster is pretty much the way to go. And then I've got Sergei Bobrovsky and net. That really doesn't matter. I don't care about my goaltender at all. It's going to be based on how you play defense. I haven't really focused on goaltending at all. All right, so let's talk the new holiday event. Again, this is going to pertain to free-to-play players. So you guys are looking for those upgrades in between, the master set guys and the guys that are going to replace your base cards. And there was a couple great ones. So Alexander Parasenko is one of them, and he's going for about 80K. I'd like to see his price drop a little bit. I'm thinking after the weekend, maybe Monday. If it isn't by Sunday night, then maybe we might be out of luck here. We might have to wait till next Wednesday. But he's going for about 80K. Heart and Soul, obviously not a synergy you want to activate, but Howitzer on this guy makes him extremely interesting. 89 speed, 99 agility, with 99 shot power for both of his shots. Like, that's incredible. For an 80K, you can get someone that has 99 shot power, and it's not like his accuracy is in the 70s. Like 84 and 85 is still very good accuracy. This is the card I'm thinking about chasing with my free-to-play team. It'll probably bump down Tyler Seguin off, and it would replace Steven Stamkos on my first line. This is just a card that I think will play very, very good, especially for the team. And you got to try and take advantage of the cards that offer one or two things that at the very high end, because that's where you're going to find your value. So Alexander Parasenko is one card I'm trying to chase, but I want to get him for around 65 to 70K if he falls that. But that's the next card I'm chasing. And then after him, 87 Eric Brandstrom's probably the next play. Now, obviously, for a free-to-play team, a lot of guys are just, again, for free-to-play guys, I would 1000% recommend not paying attention to team-based synergies, but more of making sure they have Howitzer or Speedster, and again, then slowly working on Distributor, Spark, Swarm, whatever you want to go. But you want to look for cards that have good base, ratings, because that's where you're going to get your most value. So this Eric Brandstrom is essentially a light version of Paul Coffey on the left side, and left-handed winger or left-handed defensemen just aren't that readily available in that middle tier range. He is going for over 100K. Like right now, 130 gets you him. so a little bit more expensive, but he would definitely be one of the better left-handed defensemen that you can get, especially for free-to-play teams, so that's kind of where I'm looking at. Other half-decent buy, guys, for about 50K, you can get this 86 Primetimes James Neal with Howitzer. Again, 87 speed and 88 agility, 90 balance is nice, but it's the shot that, again, you're trying to find a nice balance here. He's got a great shot for an 86 overall card, 87 speed. Again, we're now getting into the range where 90 speed and above is kind of what's not, I don't want to say needed, but that you're going to start seeing because cards, slowly get up there. It's a lot slower than it was any other year, but, again, with Howitzer, 87 is fine. And if you have distributor, 90. And then defensively, he's fine as well. 6'2" with 87 body checking and 86 stick checking. Hand stats are all above 86. This is a really good card and only going for about 50K. This is, again, another left-handed card that I kind of want to replace, Malkin with. He'd be a really, really good option. I still think the 87 McDavid is far better than this card, but he's a really good option. So now, guys, I want to talk about the fantasy sets because these are fantastic for a free-to-play player because normally what has been going on in the cycle is, okay, a new event will come out, but it's very difficult for someone who's free to play, doesn't spend any money on the game, and, has about maybe 5 to 10 hours to actually play the game in a week. It is very difficult for you to grind enough, to get, essentially get an upgrade. So let's take this event that just came out. Say you raced out and you had an upgrade to your fantasy cards and whatnot. The new event came out, you've got 1, maybe 0 gold collectibles. If this was a 2-week event, what are the odds you're actually able to get, 12 or 11 or in between 11 and 14 gold collectibles in that 2-week span? It's just not going to happen. Even if you take on tradable rewards, all of that kind of stuff, even if you have a gigantic pull, there's a very good chance that you don't, get that. So you then have to skip this event and wait for the next one, sometimes 2 events. Now, the great thing about the fantasy hockey event is it's here the entire year, and you can upgrade them basically every week. So let's take my Brock Besser, for example. I've got the 83. The next step would be the 84, right? If I don't see enough value in trying to chase one of the new cards, because, again, I just won't get it, right? I can just autofill, and I'm now 1 card away from getting my upgrade to my Brock Besser as we go on. And again, I just think that I can actually get it right now, actually. And then after that, the 85, again, it's just costing you gold players. So you're giving up the chance to get a gold collectible, right? But if you're not going to be able to get anywhere close to one of the new master items, these sets make it fantastic. And this Brock Besser card is great. I have the 89 on my PlayStation team, and he's, in my opinion, one of the best right-handed wingers in the game. So just a really good option. This Brock Besser as well as Couturier. Both of these cards you should be working on. In fact, I'm going to make the 84 Sean Couturier right now. But that is where you should go because even for free-to-play players, these cards are probably going to make your lineup right after being made. So again, just a great addition, and this kind of just fell into... this wasn't how the event was intended, but I really like how they pivoted and how they made this because they might have stumbled on a new way for them to make upgradable cards throughout the whole year. I think this is one of the best events they've had in years because it's something that I've wanted for a long time. I wish the upgrade path was a little bit different and not just collectibles and things like that. I wish it was objectives, score 100 goals with Brock Besser in Rivals or Hut Champs, that kind of thing. I think that would be fantastic, but that's just an example. But we're on the right path here, and it's a really good event in my opinion. Alright guys, so just to give you an update on my settings. So I said that I play a little bit differently than my PlayStation squad, and there's a reason why, but I'm getting a decent enough team where I can start slowly playing into how I normally play. Obviously, your team is going to play a little bit slower than some of these guys that have just, the Gila Fleurs and the Gretzkys and, all of these high-powered teams. So I play 1-2-2 passive, 1-4 with a full trap with this team to make sure that I don't get caught. My defense is by far the weakest, and again, when you're trying to build up a free-to-play team, it's always going to be the last thing you focus on because most of the cards that you're going to be able to afford won't have a shot that really makes them great in the offensive zone, so... there isn't a real need to go and upgrade them because I think forwards are always going to be the most important. However, you do need to, worry about your defense as well, don't get me wrong. So those cards are always usually the weakest, so you need to make sure you're not giving up 2-on-1s, things like that, and this is how you do it with really, really passive settings. And again, I think that this helps me a little bit. Now, as you go on, this is not the way that I would recommend to play. To be honest, the best way to play the game is full-out aggressiveness. but it also means that you have to know exactly where you're supposed to be. The second you start chasing with a player and pull him out of position, full out aggressiveness can absolutely wreck you, because that could lead to a ton of 2-on-1s off the transition and whatnot. So I don't recommend going that until you're really comfortable with the game, but it's something that you want to work towards. So the first thing I usually change when my team is getting a little bit better is the 2-3 check. 2-3 is, in my opinion, the best because it has two guys attack the puck, and in most cases you want to be the one that is not attacking the puck but covering the closest passing lane. So when they go to break the puck out, your one AI will beeline towards the puck carrier. I always try and control the player in support of that, the other forechecker, and cover the quickest passing route. After that, once the pass has gotten past those first two guys, I just hold down right trigger and I switch all the way back to the furthest back defenseman. That way I'm not getting burned by. Neutral zone as well. This is going to be something that you really need to learn. I have a video that goes over how to play neutral zones and the difference between them. But the 1-2-2 red is what you should be using. In my opinion, it is the most effective. However, it depends on the player you're playing. So, again, I didn't want to turn this into a strategies video, but I guess I'll just go over them for anyone that needs a little bit of a refresher. So the 1-2-2 red, how you actually do this effectively is it works against players that pass the puck a ton to go down the ice. So they don't just take one guy, make a move, and then beeline into your zone. The best way to defend that is the 1-4, which a lot of players do. Passing a ton out of their own zone and in the neutral zone, east and west. If you use the 1-2-2 red and then switch immediately as the pass is done to the closest player with the puck, it means that you're always going to be, hard on the puck carrier. And the best way to, defeat an opponent is A, not let them into your zone, which this will help with, but B, give them as little time and space to actually think and come up with plays. Guys in the lower division, they really only have one read, guys. If you are playing someone in the lower division, I'm talking like 5 and below, understand that this is probably a big fault that you have as well, that almost all of those players are guys that just stare at the puck carrier, whether it be the guy that has the puck for their own team or the opponent. You're not looking at passing and whatnot. So you can take advantage of that, because once you start getting super aggressive, they don't have enough time to go through their reads to find what's open. So the 1-2-2 red is the best thing to change to. And then after that, again, it depends what you're using. I like to go full trap in 1-4, full forecheck when I'm doing 2-3, 1-2-2 red. Again, it is very dangerous if you don't know how to actually play it. But just be aware that, it's always best and you always want to just switch to the furthest player back. Again, you can do that by switching players by holding right trigger and then selecting on the right thumbstick down or whatever area is to select the furthest player back. That way, you're not getting burned on a 2-on-1 or you're having a breakaway given up. Offensive pressure, this one's always tough because if you set it to aggressive or full-out attack, your defenseman will just keep skating up the ice. This is determining how they play on the rush. So you're breaking the puck out. If everyone is going up, it really helps your forwards, but your defenseman will keep doing it as well. And if there's a turnover in the neutral zone, this is the one strategy that causes the most amount of breakaways the other way. So just be aware of that. I like to keep it at standard if I'm going to move it up at all. Defensive pressure as well, same thing. Once you actually learn, again, go watch my strategy video, guys, on defense. I show you guys where to be in the defensive zone, and that will be super important, because the guys that select one guy and just kind of chase around, they pull their own AI out of position. Now the AI sees that, oh, you're covering the right slot even though it's the center. I have to go and cover where you're supposed to be. And that is when you get the jumbled up mess where the AI isn't covering someone. So I usually try to do contain puck and collapsing when I have slower players and a slower team. But once I get up there and I feel comfortable, try out high pressure and tight point, guys. And again, you want to be sure you're the one attacking the puck carrier, okay? But again, it probably is going to be pretty rough of an adjustment for you. But again, the guys that can play at super aggressiveness and know where to be, they're the ones that, dominate time on attack and are really hard to play against, because they don't give any time and space. Other than that, the other ones aren't really all that important. I still run behind the net, especially with a slower team, guys. Behind the net is the best way to eat up TOA. Again, you don't have to defend if you're in the offensive zone. It's also a really easy way to pull players out of position if you cycle around the net enough. I also have a video for that. Go back and look at my channel. It'll show you exactly how to do that. Carry dump, I just keep that at 5, as well as efficiency energy. Don't mess with this at all, because I find if you go far away to energy, they run out of energy immediately, and efficiency, I find that they don't hustle, so I leave it dead in the middle. And then cycle shoot. This is something I'm kind of messing around with. There is a way to get your defenseman to jump up into the slot if you have it all the way to shoot, and I'm starting to mess around to see if there's a good play with that, but I'll get back to you on that one. And then don't block and block. I set it to don't block because if they go down and block, it can pull them out of position, and it's just something I don't want to look at. And then defensive pairings, do not hit pinch, guys, especially if you're a free-to-play team. And then again, shoot, just something I'm messing around with. So those are my updated strategies, for my free-to-play team. I like to say, I'm going to try out the aggressive ones now, but I'd like to try and stay a lot more passive with this team. But again, as you see, you start getting upgrades and they become faster. You'll start to be able to feel a little bit more comfortable, and that's all just a learning process by playing the game, guys. So my next few buys will be upgrading Besser as well as Couturier, and then I'm going to go for that 99 shot power random winger from the franchise, or the Christmas event. I think it's the next card to go after. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments section down below if there's something else you want to see in these. I kind of want to do gameplay, but as I was doing this video, I kind of want to do a full episode of it. So I think during the week I'm going to do another one where I show you guys again the differences between using a stack team as opposed to a free-to-play team. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.